Rangers lefty Matt Harrison is in a solid groove, winning 4 straight starts, including a 5-hit shutout of the San Francisco Giants Friday night. The 26-year-old owns a 1.72 ERA in 2 June starts. Tonight, he faces Diamondbacks' 25-year-old sensation, Wade Miley, who leads all National League rookies with 7 wins. A super southpaw matchup right now on Fox Sports Southwest. Warm, very muggy tonight, and we may have a capacity crowd at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington for the second of this 3-game interleague series matching the Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Matt Harrison with a bid to become the American League's first 9-game winner. And for more on Matt, send it down below to Emily Jones.
Well, Dave, we saw what Colby Lewis did last night, and we know what Matt Harrison has done over his last few starts. And between inconsistencies and injuries, these 2 guys have anchored this rotation, and it is not lost on their teammates.
Seems like everyone kind of forgets about those 2 guys in our rotation, which is the weird thing, because they're the guys that are the rocks really that seem to take the ball every 5th day and give their best effort every time out. You know to get out of what you're going to get out of both those guys every time, and we're glad that we have both those guys in our rotation.
And if you need numbers to back it up, those last 3 starts combined for those 2 guys, 3 complete games, giving up a total of 3 runs. Not too bad. Should be a good one here tonight as a couple of lefties battle it out. We'll get you ready for first pitch when we return from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington.
Want to break up with the vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. And welcome to Rangers Ballpark. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. Josh Hamilton has been the offensive story in baseball this year. Sometimes it's hard to cover all the different aspects of his start, but tonight against the talented young lefty Wade Miley, good chance to point out his improvement against left-handed pitching this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Dave. Josh has been either in the lead or right near the lead lead in hitting all season long, and the reason is the way he's hit left-hand pitchers. He's actually hit higher against lefties so far this year than he has righties. A lot of the hits are hanging curveballs. They can make a lot of good pitches, but it's just a matter of time before they hang one. And when they do, Josh is ready to punish it. Last night, had a ground ball to shortstop against the shift to drive in a run. And what are the numbers? In his first 5 seasons, his average against lefties was .278. This year, it's over 60, about 60 points higher. It's in the 340s. What a dramatic improvement.
But just about any offensive category you look to, you find the name Josh Hamilton at or near the top as the Rangers take the field. And we check tonight's Jose Cuervo Diamondbacks batting order. Willie Bloomquist moves up to leadoff and plays shortstop. Aaron Hill moves up to the 2 slot. He'll play second base. Justin Upton in right field batting third. Paul Goldschmidt, the first baseman, batting cleanup. The DH, Jason Kubel. Chris Young in center field. Miguel Montero batting 7th and catching. Ryan Roberts will bat 8th. And Gerardo Parra moves down to the 9 spot. And he will play left field. We look at the Nissan scouting report on Matt Harrison.
Well, it's been an excellent season for Matt so far. He's among the league leaders in a lot of categories, especially 8 wins. His ERA has dropped about 1.5 in his last 7 starts. His last 4 starts, he's undefeated. His ERA is below 2, and he does it by pounding the fastball into the hitters, whether it's lefty or righty hitter. He gets a lot of ground ball outs, and many of them are weakly hit, and a lot of them end up with broken bats.
So Harrison set to go. So is Willie Bloomquist. He batted second last night and move up to the leadoff spot for game 2 of the series. Bloomquist on a pretty good roll. Nearly 300 on the year. 19 consecutive games he has reached. And out of his last 8 games, 6 multi-hit games. 86 degrees. Heat isn't the issue. It is very humid tonight. 70% humidity. As Bloomquist skies that one out to shallow center field. Ian Kinsler backing up to cover all that ground. And the Ranger defense, Hamilton, Gentry, and Brandon Snyder is in right field. Nelson Cruz still recovering from some virus symptoms. Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, Napoli, the infield, Torrealba's behind the plate. As is Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief. Eric Cooper at first, Marty Foster at second, and Tim Timmons is at third. So one gone. Here is Aaron Hill. And he pops the first pitch up. Coming in to make this grab, Beltre. Matt Harrison Friday night got 1 out turned in by his outfielders in those 9 innings. He got 18 ground ball outs. First 2 outs here, both recorded in the air.
And already he's utilized his changeup to get Bloomquist to pop up to center field. He was way out in front of that changeup. And then he threw the fastball into Hill and got Hill to pop it up as well. With 4 pitches into the game, Matt's got 2 outs.
And Justin Upton, the right fielder, 0 for 4 yesterday. And it starts him with a strike at the knees. Diamondbacks, game under 500, 30-31. Third in the National League West, where they are 9 games behind the Dodgers. And an easy play for Kinsler, an easy 6-pitch first inning for Matt Harrison. The Rangers, with a record of 36-26, 3.5 game lead in the American League West. Jose Cuervo starting lineup. Beginning with Ian Kinsler, Elvis Andrus, Josh Hamilton is in left field, Beltre at third, Michael Young batting fifth as the DH. Mike Napoli at first, Yorby Torrealba behind the plate and hitting seventh. Brandon Snyder, first start in right field, ahead of the center fielder Craig Gentry. The Nissan scouting report on the 25-year-old from Hammond, Indiana, Wade Miley.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard a lot about Wade Miley, don't feel like the Lone Ranger. But by the time this year's over, you might have heard a lot about him based on his start. He's off to a great start. 7-2, a .253 earned run average. Rookie of the month in April. 2010 minor league pitcher of the year for the Diamondbacks. So he's got a good pedigree. He was a high draft choice, 43rd pick in the 2008 draft. And he's actually pitching better in the big leagues right now than he did at any time in the minor leagues. Topped out at AA, didn't pitch AAA. Got to the big leagues last year. Was 4-2 with a .450 ERA. And he has just lit it up so far this year. Not many walks, good number of strikeouts, .225 opponent's batting average. A lot of good numbers there.
Kinsler with the pop up down the right field line and caught by Upton. Tonight's keys to the game brought to you by Land Rover.
Strength versus strength. The Rangers have a .293 average against lefties. That's the best in Major League Baseball. Wade Miley has a .253 ERA. Good challenge. Arizona, .271 against lefties. That's the third best in Major League Baseball. And Matt Harrison's featuring a .176 ERA in his last 4 starts. So 2 teams who have handled left-handed pitchers very well this year. But each team is facing a lefty who's on a good streak right now. So we'll see whether the lefty pitchers handle the lineups or vice versa. They say generally good pitching will slow down good hitting. Well, both of these guys are good pitchers. Both of them are hot right now. See if they can control each lineup.
Elvis Andrus, 1 hit in 5 trips last night. It was a triple. He's tripled each of the last 2 games. Leads the American League with 5 3-baggers now in the year. Chops this one to the shortstop. Bloomquist charges, throws, and easily gets Elvis for out number 2. And that will bring up Josh Hamilton. As we showed you earlier, much improved, almost 70 points better his batting average against left-handed pitchers this year compared to what it was for his career before this season. The moment steps in with a 7-game hitting streak. And his first look at Wade Miley. And he lets the first pitch go. A fastball for a strike.
I mentioned Miley doesn't light up the radar gun. He doesn't throw necessarily in the mid-90s, but he's got plenty of fastball. And so far in this game, it's 91, 92 miles an hour.
That little flare looked for a moment like it might stay fair.
When you take a 91, 92 mile an hour fastball with really good command and a good assortment of off-speed pitches, you've got a great chance of getting hitters out.
Talked about all the categories where you find Josh's name atop the American League standings. Extra base hits one of them, as well as the 22 homers and the 62 runs batted in. Grounded on the right side, and the first baseman Goldschmidt makes the play. Both teams go 1-2-3 in the first. Miley needing only 10 pitches.
Dave, Ranger fans looking for another win. Starting to sprinkle out here as well. Hopefully the rain will hold off. Community Corner tonight, we're talking about the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation wants to help your baseball or softball team grow. That's right. You can get some help. Log on to texasrangers.com/foundation. Find out more details dealing with an application, also grant information. Dave.
Paul Goldschmidt leading off the second inning. And 1-1 pitch fouled off, and boy, the rain has really picked up just out of nowhere, and a lot of fans heading for cover here at the ballpark. Just a few drops coming down when Jim Knox started to speak, and now it is coming down considerably harder than that. If it stays like this, I'm not sure if they necessarily have to get the tarp out, but it's a decent shower.
Yeah, left field looks dark, right field looks okay.
That pitch looked okay to Jeff Kellogg as he rings up Paul Goldschmidt.
Matt Harrison looks okay so far. One of his longer at-bats of the night right here. Fastball paints the outside. Well, actually, it's in the low part of the strike zone, middle of the plate. Goldschmidt took, no doubt that was a strike.
So Goldschmidt gives way to the DH, Jason Kubel, the former Twin, who went 0 for 4 last night. But hitting .293 on the year. He shared the National League Player of the Week honors for the past week with Ryan Dempster. Hit .409. 2 homers, drove in 12 runs. Two balls and a strike. Emily?
Well, it's raining down here too, where I'm actually outside. I know you guys are protected in there in that little television booth, so I hope you're enjoying the rain, watching the rainfall.
How's it feel, Em?
I forgot my umbrella today, so this is my.
Oh, wow.
It looks good on you.
This is my backup plan.
Oh, man.
This isn't going to do anything for my hair, I can tell you that. I don't have a whole lot to work with anyway, and this
We're
is
really
not
feeling bad for you, Em.
I can tell, Tom. The sincerity in your voice is overwhelming.
You look kind of exotic, like a queen from Egypt or something.
I was told today by Adrian Beltre in the clubhouse that I resemble a peacock today. I'm not exactly sure exactly what to make of that, but listen, I've been called much worse than a peacock.
Yeah, that's actually a compliment.
2-2 breaking ball popped up. Elvis Andrews waiting patiently. And Kubel is out number 2. So far, Diamondbacks seeing what the San Francisco Giants saw Friday out of Matt Harrison. Quick worker.
They're not seeing much. It's happening pretty quick so far.
Not getting deep to very many counts. He is
16 pitches and 5 hitters.
He is wasting no time going right after him. So with 2 outs, here's the center fielder, Chris Young. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. This season started out well from a power perspective for Chris Young. 5 homers in his first 10 games. And has not hit a single homer in his last 19 games. So still stuck on 5 with 16 runs batted in and hitting .265. Lined into left field, drifting over toward the gap is Hamilton to make the play. 6 up and 6 down for Matt Harrison. Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. here on Fox Sports Southwest, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. In the Rangers second, Beltre, Young, and Napoli. Wade Miley had 2 outs in the air and a ground out in 1-2-3 first. Adrian stepping up right at 300 with a 5-game hitting streak and hits in 6 of his last 7 games. Opposite field bid here will go foul. A couple of minutes ago, the rain seemed to have completely subsided, now picking up again, and there have been some spectacular lightning flashes out in the distance beyond left field.
It just depends which side's coming our way. The right field side looks okay. The left field side looks very dark, and unfortunately it looks like that darker side is what's approaching us right now. That's the dark side.
2-1 pitch to Beltre. This really just kind of blew up out of nowhere. It was very humid all afternoon and 70% humidity, but most of the day mixture of clouds and sun. Now just imposing gray sky overhead. Called strike 3 at the knees. First strikeout for Miley. The next Ozarka website Wednesday will be June 27th against the Detroit Tigers. You can save 50% on tickets when you purchase them on TexasRangers.com and enjoy all the dollar hot dogs you can eat. Get your half-price tickets and plan your trip to Dollar Dog Night at TexasRangers.com/specials. 1 out. Here's Michael Young. 2 for 5, scored twice last night. And Michael, after a slow month, has picked it up now over his last 16 games, hitting .338, lifting his batting average 19 points up to .286. Grounded right to the second baseman, and Aaron Hill throws him out number 2.
We were talking about left-handed pitchers early. There's some good rookie left-hand pitchers in the league. We've seen Chen from Baltimore, who pitched a nice game against us. Smiley from Detroit pitched a nice game. Malone from Oakland, same kind of a pitcher. Chris Sale we haven't seen. More of a power pitcher, but he's off to a great start with the White Sox. And we saw Matt Moore during the playoffs last year. You know he's got a great arm. There's a number of good young lefties coming into the league. Both leagues. And it looks like Wade Miley's right there with those guys.
Chris Sale, 8 wins, tied for the league lead. He is the leader with an ERA of .205.
Wow. They didn't know whether to make him a closer or a starter. Looks like they made the right decision. They faced kind of a similar situation with him that the Rangers faced with Neftali.
Line drive directly into the glove of the shortstop, Willie Bloomquist. 6 up and 6 down for both teams so far. The rain continues to fall. To you by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. And by Ace Cash Express, earning your trust since 1968. Some folks came prepared for the weather. Light rain continues to fall as some very low-hanging, ominous-looking clouds are blowing in from left field as Miguel Montero leads off the third. His homer with one out in the eighth last night ended Colby Lewis's shutout bid. Montero's fifth of the season. The top defensive catchers in baseball. Signed him as an undrafted free agent out of Caracas, Venezuela. In 2001, he was up 5 years later. This spring got a 5-year extension worth $60 million. And on the check swing down at third, Tim Timmons says he didn't go. And the first 3-ball count of the evening for Harrison.
Did he go? Nope. Thought about it.
And takes ball 4 inside. There's the first Arizona base runner. Saturday on Baseball Night in America, interleague play returns as the Astros visit the ballpark to take on the Rangers with the Silver Boot on the line. The Rangers having taken 2 of 3 in Houston last month. Baseball Night in America telecast presented by Budweiser begins Saturday at 6 p.m. Central only on Fox. So Montero at first, and the third baseman Ryan Roberts will be the batter. From Fort Worth, line drive right to Andrews, who guns across to first and doubles up Montero.
Montero, not a really good bit of base running right there by Montero. He took a couple of extra steps after that ball was hit. It's in the air, it's not on the ground. You can see those 3 extra steps he took right there, and that led to the double play. Elvis easily gets the ball back. And once you see that ball's in the air, you have to plant your foot and stop. If it goes to the outfield, you're only going to get to second base anyway, probably. As it is, Rangers turn it.
Good way to dispense with the leadoff walk. Base is empty now. 2 outs for Gerardo Parra, who led off last night and went to 0 for 3 with a walk. Wanted to lay down a bunt here, and he went. A full bunt swing, according to Jeff Kellogg.
Now it's raining a little harder.
It has just this instant started to pour.
Well, what the Rangers are thinking is, okay, Matt, get this last out. We'll get in the dugout and let them go out and sit in the rain. Right now, all I can think about is Emily. I feel so bad for her down there.
She's resourceful. I'm not so worried. Bounced into the hole. Andrews' throw pulling Napoli off the bag. And an infield hit for Parra.
Yeah, that was one. Probably better not to throw this ball. But you're so competitive as a big league shortstop. You want to give it a shot on every ball. But what almost happened was he almost threw it past Napoli at first base, which might have been an error and allowed Parra to go to second base. As it is, it's an infield single.
Parra with 2 outs at first, back to the top of the order, and Willie Bloomquist to pop to second. Willie Bloomquist, 34, out of Bremerton, Washington, drafted by the Mariners, 3rd round 1999, out of Arizona State, the first Sun Devil to make it to the Diamondbacks. Into right center field, great positioning there. Gentry only had to move a few steps to his left to get into the gap, and haul that one down. The resourceful Emily Jones finding any way she can to stay dry. Kansas City, you can vote early and often at TexasRangers.com to send your favorite Rangers to this year's All-Star Game along with manager Ron Washington. You'll even receive a special ticket offer when you cast your 25 ballots by June 28th at TexasRangers.com. And a number of Rangers leading in the second release of balloting, including Hamilton and Cruz in the outfield, Eltrey Kinsler the infield, and Mike Napoli leads all catchers so far. Hamilton more votes than the next two outfield getters combined. Lightning flashing. Rain continues to come down. Yorvi Torrealba leads off the Ranger third.
Dave, I'm going to start chipping away at our list here. I don't think we've ever had a more banner day than we just had. I'm going to start with Becky and Tim Farrell from Bedford, Texas. Becky is one of our cake ball queens. She sent up the cookies and cream cake balls. Thank you very much, Becky. Chocolate oatmeal cookies from Terry Dennehy, Arlington, Texas. Terry's at the game tonight. Thank you very much. They were delicious.
This game has got to be very close to a stoppage at this point. Little dribbler. Bloomquist throws it out on the run.
Nice play by Bloomquist. Got a nice note from Olive Collier. We mentioned Olive last night. She was 90 years old last night. Good curveball right there from Miley. Looked like off the bat it might be a base hit, but boy, Bloomquist charged that ball nicely. Made a good play on the run. They had a 90th birthday party for Olive last night. Everybody was there. She heard her name. She was happy. That's great.
Big cut and a miss by Brandon Snyder. First start in right field tonight.
Dick and Frankie Jackson from Guyman, Oklahoma are here celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. They sent up some oatmeal toffee cookies. Yeah, we always love it when you come here to celebrate things and bring us cookies. Very nice of you. And a happy 60th wedding anniversary. Sharon and Fred Pierdala from Nevada, Texas.
There's a base hit for Snyder. Strokes that one into left field. He's aboard with one on and one out.
Sharon sent up the Ranger Rallies red velvet cake cookies, winning treats for a winning team. Thank you very much, Sharon from Nevada, Texas. Looked like a high cutter. Brandon was all over that pitch. Drove it in left field with some authority. Chocolate chips and brownies from the McCord family. Derek, Becca, Jake, and Dylan. We're celebrating an early Father's Day at the ballpark. Thank you very much.
Craig Gentry now with Snyder at first. And his bunt out in front of the plate. Thrown out by the catcher Montero.
It'll work as a sacrifice. It really wasn't a sacrifice because Craig was bunting for a base hit. If that ball hit the ground, he probably has a chance to beat it out, but it bounced up and Montero caught it on the high hop. There's a good view of it. If it rolls halfway, he's got a chance, but once it bounced up to Montero, he didn't have much of a chance.
Gentry is credited with a sacrifice. So 2 out. Snyder in scoring position for Kinsler, who flied to right to begin the game. First ball hitting, ground ball. Bloomquist battles it and finally picks it up and throws Kinsler out. Rangers get their first hit of the game. Snyder stranded at second base. And sign up to be the Whataburger What a Fan. Don't miss this chance to win great prizes and meet one of your Texas Rangers at the Whataburger, 4120 South Collins in Arlington, 10:30 to 11:30 tomorrow morning. You will enjoy meeting Mike Adams, guaranteed.
Dave, I think the mist is finally starting to do some things with the infield dirt. Matt had to change rosin bags, and it's just a matter of time. If it stays like this, where you might start to see a puddle or two, they're probably going to have to put some of the sand at home plate and on the pitcher's mound eventually if it doesn't stop.
One thing that's happened since this game started is the wind has completely turned. It was a typical wind blowing in from right center, and now it is coming in from left, and a little bit of a left to right angle to it as well.
I have to think that the forecast that they have is not terrible. Otherwise, if there was a lot behind this, they might consider putting the tarp down so the field doesn't get in a little bit bad shape. We're thinking maybe another 20 minutes of rain with nothing behind it. So if that's all, we'll be in good shape.
Meanwhile, the drops just keep getting bigger as Hill rolls one to Andrews. One gone. Here's Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. We got the United States men's and women's bowling team in town at tonight's game. Also training here in Arlington. Chris Barnes, who lives in Arlington, so happens you don't have to go far to train. But what a great advantage for you. You know, you're training here, and then from here, where do you guys go?
Well, we have a couple events coming up. The junior team's going to go to Thailand in a couple of weeks and bowl in the World Championships, and then we have the World Singles in Cyprus outside of Greece. later on this year, as well as the American Zone Championships. The PAPCONs are going to be in Las Vegas.
All right, there we go. And you guys are the defending world champions. This guy, 86, 300 perfect games, right?
Well, yeah, somewhere around there.
We don't want to brag, but way to go. All right, good to see you. Big-time Ranger fan right here.
Let's go Rangers. Come on, Josh, get started.
There we go, Dave.
All right. Justin Upton at the plate and getting a new weapon.
Well, he's doing that, Dave. I'm going to continue my list here. Ruth Ford just became one of the most prolific bakers we've ever had in one day. She set up a giant sopapilla cheesecake, a giant lemon lush cake, and a chocolate lush cake.
That was incredible.
There was enough there to feed the whole press box, and we practically did. Also, our friends from Oklahoma, Melody and Russ Nickel. Dave, you've arrived now. You have your own cookie.
I am so honored.
Melody set up 2 different kinds of cookies. She called one the Barnett's Bites, carrot cake cookies with orange frosting, and then Dave's Delights butter pecan cookies. Their grandson Ian prefers the Barnett Bites. He and Melody put that together. We had some pizza cookies. Daughter Crystal Womack made those. So what a nice day. Thank you very much to the Nichols. Also, we got 3 flavored pound cake from the Condors, it looks like. Thank you very much for that. Great fans of the Rangers. Here with their grandson who's visiting from Uganda, where his parents are missionaries. So thank you very much for that.
This is a record spread today, wouldn't you say?
I'd say it's right up there too.
Thanks for all of it. Especially the Barnett Bites. I think I go with the Barnett Bites. They're both great. 2-2 pitch to Upton.
Also got some peanut butter candy, and I hope I can read this. Looks like Ann Joyner and Lynn Harless. Very nice, ladies. Thank you very much. The Ranger twins, they're here at the ballpark tonight.
3-2 pitch, shot past Kinsler, and a base hit for Upton into right center field.
Yeah, it wasn't that far away from Ian. The problem was he smoked it. Ian didn't have a chance to even turn and go after it. He hit it so hard. Got the shift on for Upton, and he crossed it up a little bit.
7 pitch at bat, and Upton ends it with the second Arizona base hit of the night.
Got some birthdays too. Antonio Sanchez Sr. is 88 years old today. He's watching the game with his son Jesse. Their grandson Jesse is a good friend of ours. Jesse used to be a writer that followed the team. I think he's with MLB.com now. So happy birthday, Antonio, number 88. Dorothy Jackson, 92 years old today, never misses a game on TV. Happy birthday to Dorothy.
Goldschmidt looking down for the sign. He struck out looking his first time up.
Billy George McInerney from Richland Springs, Texas, 87 years old today, watches every game. Boy, we found out one thing over the years is how many people over the age of 75 watch almost every game, and we genuinely appreciate that. Well, happy birthday to all of you tonight.
1-1 pitch, that's foul back.
And the last one, Dave, was kind of unique. Joe Permenter sent us not bobbleheads, but wobbleheads that were homemade. And because he knows you and I will never have a bobblehead, he made them of us. There's you on the left, me on the right. Thank you, Joe, for the wobblehead likenesses. They're actually pretty good.
That took some effort.
They really did. So what a great night. Thank you all for making it so enjoyable for us.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Goldschmidt. 8th rounder out of Texas State, 2009. Played at the Woodlands High School with Kyle Drabeck, the Blue Jay, on the 2006 National Championship high school baseball team before becoming a Bobcat. Dodgers drafted him out of the Woodlands High School in the 49th round. He went to college instead, moved up 41 rounds. Texas State all-time career records in home runs and led the nation in runs batted in his junior year. 8 homers, 26 driven in this year, and a hit in 17 of his last 18 games. 400 average in those 18. Grounded sharply to Beltre. Second for 1. Easy 2. 5-4-3. The Rangers turn the double play. Beltre easily to his left. Relay in plenty of time. Of the 4th inning, Matt Harrison just 2 hits on 48 pitches, and Wade Miley has given up only a 1-out single to Brandon Snyder in the 3rd.
Yeah, the good news is, Dave, it's gone from 88 to 74. Dropped 14 degrees in about 10 minutes. Went from humid and sweaty up here to pretty comfortable right now.
And a moment or two ago, the rain had just about stopped. Now here it comes again. As the first pitch misses wide to Elvis Andrus. There's been a scoring change on the Gentry bunt. It was originally scored as a sacrifice, and that has now been changed, ruling he was bunting for a hit. Parra tracks that drive down. Elvis is 0 for 2. Steve Weller, our official scorer tonight.
Well, the giveaway on that is with 1 out, no position player is going to sacrifice bunt. And there was no doubt that Craig was bunting for a base hit. You love to get the sacrifice because then it doesn't count as an at bat. But the reality is Steve's scoring decision is correct. Bunting for a base hit is not a sacrifice.
Hamilton strokes the first pitch out to center field, and Young. 2 very quick outs here for Wade Miley in the 4th. That's encouraging. Little patch of blue overhead.
Dave, the stuff is still coming in as we talk. Giant batch of Chex Mix from the crew from North Elm. So thank you very much, crew from North Elm.
Adrian Beltre now with 2 outs. He was caught looking leading off the 2nd. Almost a mirror image matchup. Wade Miley and Matt Harrison, just about equal numbers, both working at a quick pace, staying ahead of the hitters. Miley now up on Adrian. No balls and 2 strikes.
Miley's got a chance to get through, if he gets an out on this pitch, through 4 innings on 36 pitches.
'86 degrees when we started, 74 degrees at the moment. Good look there at what the players are dealing with, coming straight down. Beltre down swinging. He has both the strikeouts for Miley, who gets the Rangers in order in the fourth. Kirk Gibson, one of 4 men to win both an MVP award and Manager of the Year. Can you name the other 3? Kirk Gibson, who took the Diamondbacks into the postseason last year, champs of the West. And some grooming taking place on the mound as Mark McLemore joins us. Rain will come hard, and then it will back off, and then here it comes back and forth. How difficult is that for a player to deal with?
It's pretty difficult. You don't want to stop playing, but, you know, as long as the game keeps going on, you know, players are okay. But, you know, you see some of the wet spots out there. That's an area of concern. But as a player, you don't really want to stop. Once the game starts, you want to finish it.
Mac, have you ever played in a rainy game where the ball came to you and slipped out of your hand when you tried to throw it?
Yes. Many times. Too many times.
Well, they're going to stop it now, aren't they?
It is.
Rangers had taken the field. Ron Washington out talking with some of the umpires, and now it is time for the grounds crew to scramble and get the tarp on. We are ready for the top of the 5th inning. This is a 0-0 game. Matt Harrison has allowed only 2 base hits. He has walked 1, struck out 1, and Wade Miley has allowed only 1 hit. That was a 1-out single by Brandon Snyder in the 3rd. He has struck out 2. So both of these left-handers have been very effective so far, as their records would tell you to expect. Miley 7-2, one of the top 7 in wins in the National League, and Matt Harrison tied for the AL lead with 8 wins against 3 losses.
You know, as you watch the rainfall, it looks like there's a bunch of spots in the infield that are just about to start puddling up. So they're probably putting the tarp on at the right time. It's never really poured, but it's been steady enough to where it's just a matter of time before the infield gets a little bit tough to play with.
So in the clubhouse, what did you like to do to pass time during delays?
For me, I would put on a fresh uniform and just relax. You know, and just stretch a little bit and try and stay loose, because, you know, especially the older you get started, you play an hour, hour and a half, and then you go and sit down, and you're going to sit for 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. It gets a little tough to crank it back up. So I would just try and stay loose a little bit. And, you know, I wasn't really a big card guy. Most guys go in and they play cards. I was never a card guy. So I always just stayed as loose as I possibly could.
So presumably that's probably what the players are doing even as we speak, as they have filed back into the clubhouse. The tarp coming on the field, so we are in a rain delay here at the ballpark in a 0-0 game, ready to start the 5th inning. So while we are in the delay, we hope you enjoy Under the Lights, the Texas Rangers triple play. started this rain delay some 28 minutes ago. The Rangers have taken the field again, and we will be ready for the top half of the 5th inning. As rain delays go, Tom and Mark, I guess this is the kind that you always want to. Not that long, and looks like maybe the rain is going to stay away the rest of the night, we hope.
I think the good part about it is both pitchers will be able to stay in the game. They're both throwing the ball great. I don't know if it'll disrupt the timing that they had, but they're both pitching great. It's fortunate that it was quick enough where they can both stay in the game.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, it's a great pitching performance by both guys, and it'd be a shame to see one of them come out because of weather.
Well, we have a chance here. Let's take a look at our Brown Hand Center. Great hands of the game. Ryan Roberts lines one to Andrews, who easily doubles off Miguel Montero, who had led that inning with a walk. And this one turns into a 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. And that is how the Arizona 4th inning ended. So we are set to go. Jason Kubel, Chris Young, and Miguel Montero here in the top half of the 5th.
Mac, was that line out into a double play a case where the base runner took a couple of steps that he shouldn't have taken, or just one of those things you can't avoid?
No, he could have avoided that. That's one of those things you're taught as a base runner. You know this, that you freeze on a line drive, and he didn't do that.
Well hit to right field. Snyder backs up near the track for the out. And here's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game the night so far for Matt Harrison.
Well, Matt's jammed him with his fastball, had him out in front of his changeup, pinpointed a fastball, big curveball got a pop up, another changeup. Pretty much picked him up right where he left off in San Francisco. Mac, I don't know if you had a chance to see that game that Matt pitched in San Francisco, but man, he just knocked the bats right out of their hand that day.
18 ground ball outs. That's what was impressive. He kept the ball down in the zone, and you're right, especially those left-handers. He was piling up some firewood that game.
He was sawing them off, boy.
Ground ball here. Beltre throws out Chris Young.
Mac, have you ever seen another player in the infield plant and throw flat-footed like Beltre does?
Never. Never. He's amazing at some of the things that he does defensively, and you know, that's just something you don't see anybody else do. He's got that, you know, rubber type of an arm. He can stop and throw, you know, off balance.
Yeah.
You know, the wrong foot forward. He still can get something on it. He plays some incredible third base.
Some thunder crackling in the background. So 2 quick outs. And here's Montero, who walked his first time up. He was their first base runner leading off the 3rd. That just keeps pumping in the first pitched strikes. 52 pitches now, 33 strikes, 11 of the first 16 batters. I haven't seen an 0-1 count now, nothing in 2. That Friday night, his 3rd career shutout, a 5-hitter at San Francisco, did not walk a batter. Last 16 seasons, only one other shutout with no walks and 5 hits or better. That was Rick Helling, July 29, 2001, who 4-hit Tampa Bay here at the ballpark. That is tap foul, the last left-handed to do it. 16 years before Friday night to the day. Darren Oliver 5-hit the Blue Jays June 8th of '96. So Harrison, some pretty exclusive company with his line Friday. His 4th consecutive winning start. And if he gets a win tonight, he will lead the American League with 9 wins. David Price also the mound with 8 wins. Tampa Bay losing to the Mets in the 8th inning, 7-0. Sharply grounded through the right side and a base hit for Montero. Only the 3rd Arizona hit, 1 each in the last 3 innings.
Look at Matt was trying to throw that ball outside. It came inside. Still not that easy a pitch to hit.
That game Tampa Bay is losing. R.A. Dickey bidding for his 10th win, a 1-hitter through 7. Ryan Roberts looks at a strike. He lined into that double play we just showed you back in the third.
You know, this is what makes Matt so tough, being able to get ahead of hitters and pretty much start every count. They're down in the count. You don't know what he's going to throw after he gets that first strike, no matter what pitch he throws for a strike, whether it's an off-speed pitch or a fastball. Now as a hitter, you start getting defensive, and you have no idea what he's going to throw next.
Yeah, pretty good idea it's going to be a strike or somewhere in the strike zone. Up on Roberts, no balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Roberts out of UTA, 18th round pick by Toronto in 2003. Year in which he was 2 RBIs shy of the Southland Conference Triple Crown. Easy selection for their player of the year, hitting .422 that season. And pops this one up. Shallow right field. Snyder coming in a long way to get there, but he puts away out number 3. After the delay of 29 minutes, Matt Harrison looks just as good as he did before. Matchup of 2 young lefties, Wade Miley and Matt Harrison. And time to answer this AT&T trivia question. Kirk Gibson, one of 4 men to win both an MVP award and Manager of the Year. Name the other 3. Don Baylor, Frank Robinson, and Joe Torre. Very exclusive company for the Diamondbacks skipper.
That's a high-powered coaching staff that Kirk Gibson has. Alan Trammell, Eric Young, EY, Matt Williams, Don Baylor. Wow. Charles Nagy was a pretty good pitcher.
Some pretty good names there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Michael Young leading off the Ranger half of the 5th. He grounded to second his first time up. Speaking of Don Baylor.
I know one thing, there was never a comfortable shortstop or second baseman when Don Baylor was on first base in less than 2 outs. They were planning how they could get across the bag in a hurry.
They were praying for a pop-up. That's what they Don't get this one on the ground.
He could break up a double play. He was a tight end in high school. Man, he'd go into second base. He and Hal McRae were the hardest ones I ever saw. How about, Mac, when you were playing the infield, who were the tough ones that you were worried about coming after you?
I got a little bit of Hal. I saw a little bit of him. Saw Don as well. I'd probably say, you know, and this will surprise a lot of people, but Will Clark was great at it.
Was he?
He was great at it. Not very fast, but he got a great jump, And he could get down there and he'd put that shortstop or second baseman. He'd really try and hang him out there on that left field wall. He's really good at it.
Miley gets his third strikeout of the night.
Oh, he's got some good stuff. First time the Rangers have seen him. A hard breaking ball. Same pitch he struck Beltre out to end the fourth inning a while back, and now he gets Michael with the same pitch.
Miley at 41 pitches, 28 strikes. Napoli lined to short his first time up. And he looks at strike one. Don Baylor, a former Dallas-Fort Worth Spur. Played over across the parking lot when it was Turnpike Stadium back in the 60s. And the Spurs were an Oriole affiliate.
Well, Miley hasn't walked anybody today. Coming into the game, he hadn't walked anybody for 70 straight batters. Got a pretty good combination of fastball, changeup, and breaking ball going for him right now.
That's 3 straight strikeouts, and time to go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studio for a Mazda CX-5 game break. Here's Rick Renner. Yeah, he's been creeping up. Adam Dunn creeping up behind Josh as well. Hamilton 1 homer his last 12 games. Yorvi Torrealba grounded to short. Big cut and miss at the first pitch. 7 straight retired by Wade Miley in the last 3 on strikes. Beltre to end the 4th. Young and Napoli here in the 5th. And nothing in 2. A 25-year-old rookie from Hammond, Indiana, and Louisiana Monroe, Wade Miley. Supplemental pick, 43rd pick overall in 2008. 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year.
Yeah, this guy's pitching better in the big leagues than he did in the minor leagues. And 420 minor league innings, which is, if you're talented, about right for a college pitcher. Oh, that breaking ball's got 4 straight strikeouts.
Strikes out the side, and the last 4 Rangers. All right, Mac, we'll look forward to Rangers Live.
Sounds good.
Pictures movie, That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg in theaters Friday. Look at that cloud formation beyond right field. This is spectacular as the rain has moved on.
Wow. That looks better on television than it does in person.
That was a shot made for high definition.
Wow.
Rains
War of the Worlds.
Rains have moved on. A 29-minute rain delay. And we move into the 6th inning now, where it'll be Parra, Bloomquist, and Hill. Matt Harrison averaging 12 pitches per inning through 5, allowing only 3 base hits, 1 in each of the last 3 innings. Parra had 1 an infield hit. Their first hit. That was back in the 3rd. Back out of play, no balls and 2 strikes. Matt Harrison pitching very much along the lines of his Friday night at San Francisco when he 5-hit the Giants. A lot of the same things that worked then are working tonight for him. 4th straight winning start Friday, trying to keep that string alive as Hamilton retires Parra, the first out of the 6th inning. To celebrate 40 years of baseball in the Metroplex, Metro PCS and Southwest Airlines are offering a chance to win a trip for 4 to watch your home team play in Los Angeles. Register to win at metropcsflyaway.com. So 1 gone in the top of the 6th. Top of the order now, Willie Bloomquist, who has popped the 2nd and fly to center. First pitch this time a little bit low. Arizona, very hot team coming in here. We saw their 5-game winning streak snapped last night, 9-1. Andrews handles the short hop. Bloomquist an easy out. And Emily Jones, how's the field looking down there?
Yeah, it's looking good. Feeling good. A little cooler, a lot drier. I don't have a bag over my head nor a towel, so things are in good shape down here. The players, I think, a little antsy to get back on the field, and we're playing baseball, which is a very, very good thing. So there you have it, guys.
But give yourself some credit. You made that black trash bag look work.
What little shame I had coming into this job, I lost very, very quickly, gentlemen.
Trooper as always. So here's Aaron Hill, who's popped to 3rd and grounded to short. Not getting lots of outs in the air. Biggest contrast to last Friday night. And the outfield could practically have taken that night off. They just weren't even really needed. 1 fly ball out to the outfield all that game. Up and in. 4-3. And Hill taking all the way, works a 4-pitch walk. 2nd issued on the night for Matt Harrison. Look up above, and now you get to see the sky turning all different colors. Pink out there, lots more blue. Those big, ominous gray clouds have moved on, taking the heat with them. It's 73 degrees, 13 degrees cooler than when we started. So Hill aboard with 2 outs, and Justin Upton steps up. He is 1 for 2. He grounded to 2nd in the 1st and singled in the 4th. And was quickly erased on the Goldschmidt double play grounder. Slice that into right field for a base hit. Justin Upton now 2 for 3. Hill up to 2nd base.
He's hit the ball hard a couple of times to right field. Had that hard ground ball that went by Ian. And now he lines this one right in front of Snyder out in right field.
That'll bring up Goldschmidt. who was struck out and grounded into the 5-4-3 double play so far tonight. First time Arizona has a runner past first base. Took him into the 6th inning. And Harrison wants a word now with Torrealba. The 5-game winning streak that the Diamondbacks had snapped last night had brought them up to 500. Still have won 7 of their last 9, 8 of their last 11. And tonight trying to end a 6-game losing streak at the hands of the Rangers. Team they only play every 3 years. 17 pitches in the 4th. Hardest Harrison has had to work tonight. Diamondbacks now out hitting the Rangers 4-1. The first pitch breaking ball misses.
Goldschmidt's a pretty dangerous hitter. He's hit 8 home runs, hitting for a pretty good average too. Right around 290.
One ball, 1 strike. Nolan Ryan introduced us to snow monkeys during a local radio interview following his days as Texas Parks and Wildlife Commissioner. This season, they make their debut here at Rangers Ballpark. Sunday, July 1st, it's Chicken Express Nolan Ryan Snow Monkey Night for kids when the Rangers take on the Oakland A's. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. Certainly one of the more unique promotions in recent Major League history. 2-1 to Goldschmidt, born in Wilmington, Delaware, but came up through the Woodlands High School in Texas State. Swings at that one. Beltre charges. And Harrison works out of really the first jam he's been in. 2-out walk, single, had 2 men on, keeps it scoreless. In tonight's jackpot worth $100 and dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. Rangers tonight hitting for Cindy Blanchard from Mansfield. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Cindy Blanchard wins $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Brandon Snyder has the only Ranger base hit. Singled with 1 out in the 3rd. That is the only base runner Wade Miley has allowed. 8 in a row. This shot slicing deep but foul.
Now, Brandon hasn't had a chance to play a lot, but boy, there's been several times where he's gotten a spot start and had a big game. All it takes is, by the looks of it, one swing of the bat and it could turn this game around.
Lets that one go. Miley tough to go deep on. He has only allowed 3 homers. This is 13th appearance and 10th start.
Boy, there's not much not to like about Miley's line, no matter where you look. Opponent's batting average, walks.
Lifts that one out to center field. And Young puts away the first out. This July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 on Fox. Beautiful Kauffman Stadium hosting the All-Star Game this year. Ron Washington will manage the second straight inning, the second straight year, and a number of Rangers leading the balloting at their respective positions. Craig Gentry tried to bunt his way on after the Snyder single in the third, but thrown out by the catcher Montero. Initially ruled a sacrifice, and then that was changed to no sacrifice for Gentry.
If you make that same bunt with no outs, even if you're bunting for a base hit, then you can generally tell you'll get the benefit of the doubt and get a sacrifice. But with 1 out, unless it's a pitcher bunting, there's no way that the benefit of the doubt could be could go toward a sacrifice bunt. It's bunting for a base hit all the way.
On Washington, happy with how Gentry's handling his increased playing time, showing all his skills. The looper off the fist, and an over the shoulder grab by the first baseman Goldschmidt. As we check our Ford leaderboard, and averages against left-handed pitchers in the American League: Michael Young 3rd, Craig Gentry 5th. Putting them at a 380 clip.
Yeah, Goldschmidt had a play similar to that last night. He got a little turned around last night and couldn't make the play, but he showed some nice agility to go back and catch that pop-up. Made it look pretty easy.
Strike one. Kinsley was flied to right and grounded to short.
And Miley's thrown 60 pitches now with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Quality strikes he's thrown.
Let's check in with Emily.
Well, guys, you were talking about the All-Star Game. Of course, Ron Washington managing the American League team and very thoughtful in his choices as far as coaches to help him out in that endeavor. Selecting Kansas City Royals coach Bob Melvin, or manager, I should say, and the A's manager. Bob Melvin, and Ned Yost, the Kansas City Royals manager. Sorry, I got my brain crossed. Selecting those 2 guys, basically saying he took cues from Jim Leyland, who gave him his first shot at managing an All-Star Game. So neat to see Wash be able to do that now 2 years in a row.
Yeah, he was talking a few days ago in Oakland about how he hopes that he is able to use more players than especially last year. There were so many pitchers that because they worked on Sunday were off limits. Managers were requesting in some cases their players not be used. Out to left center field, Parra. And the 3rd straight inning in which Wade Miley retires the Rangers in order. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Want to break up with a vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, you can try Jack's Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for only $4.99 plus tax. Dave Barnett and Tom Green, this pitcher's duel now moving into the 7th inning. And the first pitch to Jason Kubel, the DH, in there. Kubel has popped to short and fly to right. Strike 2. No runs on 4 hits, no errors, 4 left for the Diamondbacks. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for Texas. Swings right through that one. The all-new $2 Powerball from the Texas Lottery has landed, and the current estimated annuitized jackpot is $240 million. Play today because Powerball has changed for the bigger. Kubel, just the second strikeout victim of Matt Harrison. He's letting the ball get put into play. His defenders do the work behind him. Now Young, who slid to left and grounded to third. Chris Young, another Texas high school product out of Bel Air High School, 16th rounder in 2001 for the White Sox.
Well, last night's game was Kobe Lewis against Ian Kennedy. And they're similar type pitchers. Both of them have fastballs, you know, between 87 and 89 miles an hour usually. Kennedy has a really good changeup. Kobe has a great assortment of off-speed pitches, especially his slider, which was unhittable last night. But two similar kind of pitchers, both pitching very well until the Rangers strung together a bunch of hits against Kennedy. Tonight it's pretty much the same thing. Miley and Harrison are similar type pitchers.
That's a base hit out to right center field. And Young is aboard with the 5th Arizona hit of the night.
And no one's stringing anything together tonight.
One out, one on. And the catcher Montero now, who has been aboard both times. A walk leading off the 3rd and a single in the 5th. He has one of only 2 walks issued tonight by Harrison. Montero had some high praise not long ago from his manager, Kirk Gibson. He said he has the most energy of anybody on the team on a day-to-day basis. Always chirping, good positive attitude, keeps things lively in the clubhouse. Also very communication-oriented, bilingual speaker from Venezuela. Become one of the top defensive catchers in either league. And last year's best power season, he had 18 homers, drove in 86 runs.
And he was well rewarded for that with a big long-term contract.
Swing and a miss on the fastball. No balls, 2 strikes.
Try to come back with that same pitch if he could. Good fastball on the outside corner.
.87 pitches now for Harrison. The wind is coming from its 3rd different direction. It started the usual jet stream in from right center, then it was blowing left to right, and now it's just coming straight in from center field. Montero sends that one out of play. far as catching is concerned, Montero credits his minor league manager Bill Plummer, who used to back up Johnny Bench, for his development behind the plate. Very tough to run on, throwing out 40% of would-be base stealers. And he looks at strike 3, the outside corner.
Well, he got him to, he swung and missed it for strike 2. And then he threw him a fastball in that jammed him, that he fouled off, and came back with a fastball away, it looks like, and caught him looking. Well, he swung at it one time. I guess the umpire figured if you swung at it, you must have thought it was a strike the first time. But it was close to being a strike. One of those that sometimes goes your way, and it did that time.
15 2/3 consecutive shutout innings turned in by Harrison.
I think you'd have to say, Dave, watching the game, that Jeff Kellogg has been favorable toward the pitcher tonight. I think he's been very fair, calling the game the same way for both teams, but I think both pitchers have gotten some borderline pitches, the ones that can go either way.
Haven't seen much chirping from the players.
No, I think they accept the strike zone and perfectly willing to deal with it.
Roberts flying out to Snyder. Stretch time at the ballpark. 0-0. Bottom of the 7th inning. A lot of offers there. The lone exception, Brandon Snyder, who singled with one out in the 3rd. The lone base runner allowed by Wade Miley. He's gotten Elvis twice, grounded to short and a fly to left. Hamilton will be next, and then Adrian Beltre. And Andrews looking at another strike quickly. He's behind 0-2. Gets him on 3 pitches.
Well, this is one of the most impressive games pitched against the Rangers all year. It might be the most impressive game when you look at 67 total pitches in the 7th inning. That's been his strikeout pitch. That hard breaking ball pretty much breaks the same way, down and in, a little bit out of the strike zone. He got 4 straight strikeouts in the 4th and 5th innings on it. Now gets another one. No walks, 6 strikeouts. Hasn't walked a batter in 15, somewhere around 90 hitters.
Just his 10th start. There goes the bat. That bat had some hang time on it, which may have worked in those fans' favor because they had time to get out of the way. Looks like nobody's hurt. That's too close to Emily. That's just too close. This drive will fall in front of Upton for a base hit. Only the Rangers' second off Wade Miley. Josh aboard with one out here in the seventh.
Miley ahead in the count. Probably didn't throw it as far down as he wanted to. Get that up just far enough for Josh to dump it in front of the right fielder. If he got it up another couple of inches, he might have hit it out of here. Didn't hang it quite enough.
Ball one to Beltre. Miley has struck him out both times. He got him looking in the second, swinging in the fourth. .51 strikes against only 20 balls from Miley tonight. Pitch number 72 on the way. And that misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Wade Miley has not thrown more than 3 balls in any inning except for the second. He had 5 balls in the second inning. That's what kind of command he has displayed tonight.
The Rangers only had 2 base runners the whole night. Had 1 man to second base, Snyder.
Josh extending his hitting streak to 8 straight games. Two years ago, Wade Miley started out in A-ball. He moved up to Double-A Mobile. He was the Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year in 2010. Combined record of 9-7. His minor league slate, 4 years in the minors, he was 24-21. He got called up for 8 appearances, 7 starts last year, went 4-2. Making quantum leaps this year. Tom, you alluded to it before. He's had better success as a major leaguer than he had as a minor leaguer.
Yeah, I don't know what has helped him improve at the big league level. Maybe his changeup's a little better. Maybe his breaking ball's a little bit better. But right now, it's pretty impressive watching him work over the Ranger hitters. Hey, it's the first time they've seen him. That works to his advantage, I think, a little bit. But that breaking ball right there, he's probably thrown at least 15 of those that have been swings and misses. And every one of them in the same spot, and very consistent the way he's commanded that slider.
Another toss over. Miley last worked Thursday against Colorado, went 8 innings, allowed only 1 run for his 7th win. Tied with Yu Darvish for the most wins by a rookie this year. And deals the 2-2 pitch, which is a strike at the knees. Strikeout number 7. Out number 2 here in the Rangers 7th.
You have to be aware of the hard breaking ball, and then you're kind of susceptible to when he paints the bottom of the strike zone with that fastball. That ties his season high with 7 strikeouts.
Struck out 6 of the last 9 batters he's faced. That includes Michael Young. And that's a foul ball. Michael, the first of 3 strikeout victims in the 5th. His first time up, he grounded to second. At Dodger Stadium, the Angels and the Dodgers about set to get underway. Second game of their freeway series. Angels 3.5 back of Texas. Another slice for a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Rangers don't see this team much. When they do, Michael Young is usually on a roll. His career average in 7 games against Arizona pitching, .469. Waves at that one way up above the strike zone. Managed to get a piece and stay alive. Mike Adams out of the Ranger bullpen now, standing and watching. This drive to right field has Upton at the edge of the warning track for out number 3. Rangers haven't had many swings like that, but they come up empty. 1 hit and 1 left as we go to the 8th. Series. Matt Harrison matching zeros with Wade Miley, and the Chevron matchup tomorrow, wrapping up this series, 7 o'clock here on Fox Sports Southwest. It'll be Daniel Hudson against Scott Feldman. Scott, last time out, pitched much better than he had his previous few outings. He took a loss at San Francisco, but allowed only 2 earned runs on 4 hits in 5 1/3 innings. So I hope you can join us for Hudson versus Feldman tomorrow night. Matt threw 90 pitches through the first 7 innings, 57 strikes against 33 balls. He has allowed hits in each of the last 5 innings. And he starts Gerardo Parra with the strike. Parra, an infield hit and a fly to left field. Ground ball handled by Andrews. And we'll check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Dave, real quick, Ranger fan, the game has to be Pirate Joe. Look at this get up. They're all wigged out tonight. Even brought Justin Bieber along with them. And Ranger fan of the game, rooting for the Rangers all game long. Got the batting gloves on, also the knee-high socks. Way to go, Pirate Joe.
Thank you, man.
Anything you'd like to say?
Oh, yeah, go Rangers. You know, it's my birthday. We're coming out to wig out for the Rangers!
Yeah. Pirate Joe, congratulations. Get a Ranger win tonight. There we go, Dave.
Good to see Pirate Joe in the house. Just not the same without him. One out here in the 8th. Bloomquist now, who has popped to second, fly to center, and grounded to short. Let's go down to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, you've talked about how great Matt Harrison has been over the last 4 or 5 starts. It's continued tonight. Ron Washington said he noticed him get upset when he'd come get him late in games when he didn't want to come out in the middle of innings. And he told him, bottom line is, you get outs, I won't come get you in the middle of innings.
Well, Bloomquist Sends that one into the right field corner. Barely fair as it went past first base. And he's got himself a double with one out here in the 8th.
Yeah, he just kind of hit that ball off the end of the bat and rolled it in a lucky location. Right down the line. Nothing anyone could do on that. Pitch out of the strike zone. It looked like it was a high pitch. Generally, that kind of a pitch you'd hit in the air. Blomqvist hit that high pitch right on the ground, right down the right field line.
So this now 6 straight innings in which Harrison has allowed a hit. And so far, only 1 hit per inning. But here comes Ron Washington. Harrison at 95 pitches. Mike Adams has been out there throwing for a while in the bullpen.
We've got all right-hand hitters coming up. Next 3 hitters. See if it's a talk or a change. It's a change.
Sellout of 45,866, showing Matt Harrison the appreciation for another gem. He leaves a scoreless game in the 8th inning. Game with Willie Blomqvist at second and 1 out here in the 8th inning. 6th hit he allowed as we look up tonight's Coors Light freeze can.
Yeah, both pitchers pitched strong games. They kept the ball away from the hitter's strengths all night long. In the case of Miley, you're going to see a lot of those hard breaking balls he throws down and into the right-hand hitters, which pretty much has neutralized them all game long, one right after the other, mixing in enough fastballs to really keep the hitters honest.
So on comes Adams, who has 3 shutout innings over his last 3 outings. For that, 3 runs in the consecutive appearances against Seattle. That is ERA down to 2.08 not long ago. 3.43 as he enters this game.
Well, obviously it's a key part of the ball game in a 0-0 game. In Ron Washington's case, it's probably the game situation dictated the change of pitchers. Very happy with the way Matt was throwing the ball, and I think if the score was a little bit different, Rangers had a little bit bigger lead, had a lead period, he might have left Matt in there. But because it's such a close game, a tie ball game, any one run might dictate the outcome of this game. Wash is going to his right-handed specialist here to come in and try to get 3 right-hand hitters out, Hill, Upton, and Goldschmidt.
Here's our Coors Light cold hard fact. The Ranger bullpen leading the majors with 4.62 strikeouts for every walk. So Adams is ready. Aaron Hill Has popped to third, grounded to short, and walked. Second and final walk issued by Harrison tonight. 6-hit shutout baseball through 7 1/3. And for Harrison, his shutout string now at 16 1/3 innings, the 4th longest of his career. 22 straight shutout innings in 09, 19 1/3, and 16 2/3 last year. Pretty much the same Harrison we saw in San Francisco Friday night. Now Adams wanting a word with Torrealba.
Well, now's the time of the game where you want to get it straight. You don't want to be cross up the catcher. You don't want to make a bad pitch right here. Every pitch is at the utmost importance right now. You got the middle of the order on its way up. Toughest hitters in the lineup. And a game on the line.
Sky high out to center field. Gentry in front of Snyder for out number 2. And let's check in back in our Fox Sports Southwest studio with Dana Larson.
Yes, and Dave, coming up after the game, we want to remind everybody that we've got Rangers Live coming up, and Mark McLemore will join me. He'd love to get his perspective on this pitcher's duel. We will hear from Matt Harrison and as well as Ron Washington, plus much more on the Rangers' 40th anniversary all-time team. And also, Yu Darvish talked with the media today. Find out how this extra rest is affecting him. So a lot to talk about, and it's all coming up on the post-game show in just a moment. Dave?
All right, Dana, thanks. Meanwhile, we've got Justin Upton, who has singled his last 2 trips, grounded out his first time up. Trying to pick up Bloomquist at second after a 1-out double. Aaron Hill, a big second out. First pitch a little low to Justin Upton. Upton started this season 2 for 26 with runners in scoring position. Since then, he's 10 for his last 20. The 1-0 pitch. That's in there at the knees. Very methodical Mike Adams here in the 8th.
Just missing with the cutter through the fastball right on the corner, trying to get Upton to chase that pitch. Upton's laid off it. Upton had a big year last year, off to a little bit of a slower start this year. Only 22 RBIs and 5 home runs so far. Only 8 doubles. Still a dangerous middle of the order guy.
The 2-1 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's keeping the ball right where he wants to, away from him. And when he's missed, it's been outside.
'17th sellout of the year. I'll get behind Mike Adams. Struck it out through a 29-minute rain delay in the 5th inning. Trying to get Adams through this 8th inning. Two-two pitch got him swinging.
He just kept it out there and finally got him to chase it.
Mike Adams does his job, leaving Bloomquist in scoring position. And leaving this a scoreless tie, headed to the bottom of the 8th. Eighth inning, he'll face Napoli, Torrealba, and Snyder, the scheduled third hitter. Mike Napoli has lined to short and struck out tonight.
That pitch has just totally baffled the Ranger hitters tonight. And he's thrown it a lot. Hard breaking ball down and in and out of the strike zone. There it is again. That's really what you have to do, is lay off it, which is a lot easier for us to see from up here than it is when you're in the batter's box facing a guy for the first time.
What do you call that, a slurve?
Yeah, it's kind of like a slurve. It's not really a curveball. It's more of a slider than a curveball, but yeah, you could probably call it a slurve. I've been calling it a hard breaking ball because I'm not sure what he calls it. But I think it's a little more like a slider.
Here's David Hernandez getting to throw in the visitors' bullpen. This is popped well back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the final line for Matt Harrison tonight: 7 1/3 innings, no runs on 6 hits. He walked 2, struck out 3, and threw 95 pitches. 61 were strikes. Another foul pop. Still 2-2 to Napoli.
There's the guy. That's it. Lay off it right there. That's the one he's trying to throw you to get you to swing at it. Knapp was able to lay off at that time to run the count to 3-2.
Mike taking more walks recently. See if he gets one here. 3-2.
Attaboy.
All 4.
That's a disciplined hitter that's seen it enough to be able to take it.
Down to Emily.
Well, guys, an interesting poll came out. Men's Journal polled 100 Major League Baseball players, and Michael Young was voted the most underappreciated player in the league. Here are the thoughts of his manager.
I don't think his peers think that. I think sometimes when you're looking from the outside in, you don't really get the full picture. I know for 11 years I was looking over him from the outside in. I knew he was a good player, and I certainly didn't know how far that goodness went until I was in the clubhouse with him. So, that's great respect for Michael. But I can tell you, his peers around the game, they have a ton of respect for him.
And you guys know this better than anybody. Being around this team on a daily basis, to see the way Michael Young goes about his business is nothing short of highly impressive and very respectable.
totally second that. He is the same if he's on a 20-game hitting streak or over his last 20. He approached the same. Preparation for each game the same. And it really seems to be contagious in that clubhouse. It's not a clubhouse that gets very high or very low. So Torrealba with the corners charging, ready to try and get a bunt down and advance Napoli to second base. '87 pitches now for Miley. 62 strikes, only 25 out of the zone. Good bunt here. Miley spins and gets the out at first base as Napoli with one out is now in scoring position.
Yeah, that's a perfect bunt. Gentry lays that bunt down. He's going to be safe at first base. Pitcher falls off a little bit toward third base, but he's able to recover and make the play nicely.
Second time this year for Yorvi to lay down a successful sacrifice.
And Nelly Cruz coming up.
Brandon Snyder has been the right fielder, but Ron Washington said before the game he would have Cruz available for just this kind of opportunity, trying to give him as much of a day off as he could as he battles the virus that has bounced around the Rangers locker room for weeks now.
The Brandon's had a couple of good at bats today too. He had a line drive base hit his first time up on a high fastball, and then battled his second time up, ended up popping up a changeup. He had a couple of pretty good at bats.
Our AT&T U-verse reverse replay. So here is Nelly Cruz. 8 home runs, 36 runs batted in.
Nelly has pinch hit once this year and has a base hit. Rangers have only had 2 singles in the game. That's it.
Cruz only 1 RBI in his last 12 games. First pitch in there for a strike at 92 miles an hour. That's gone quiet for Nelly since he had the longest homer in the majors this year. At Angel Stadium, 484-footer. Just a base hit would be very acceptable here. 90th pitch of the night on the way. Strike 2.
Now you're down 0-2, and you still haven't seen the hard breaking ball that's given the hitters fits tonight. Started them off with 2 straight fastballs.
Three pitches. Miley gets him swinging for the second out.
A tough guy to hit the first time you see him, especially if he's ahead 0-2, because no one's hit that pitch today. The only hitter that's had any success with that pitch was Mike Napoli, because he took it twice. It's not a strike. It's just a very, very difficult pitch to lay off of. Every hitter's been susceptible to it.
Saw Joe Nathan getting ready for the 9th inning. Napoli with 2 outs now takes his lead off second base. Craig Gentry is 0 for 2. Looks at the first pitch in. A lot of playing time lately for Craig. 6th start in his last 8 games. He is 9 for his last 19 at the plate. Hard shot off the glove of Roberts. Here comes Napoli home. The throw not in time, and the Rangers lead it 1-0.
That's one of the hardest hit balls of the night for the Rangers. Very difficult play for Roberts at third base. Gentry just smashed that ball at him. Took a bad hop, went off his glove. It's probably fortunate that it went off his glove because it slowed the ball down and gave Napoli a little bit more time to score. He tried to get the fastball by him. It takes a bad hop. Roberts tries to stay with it, and I think it's actually a good thing that went off his glove. If it goes right straight out to Parra, he might have a chance to throw him out at the plate. Gentry takes second.
After 93 pitches, Wade Miley will rue that pitch to Gentry, which broke the scoreless shutout here in the bottom of the 8th. On comes Hernandez. On the single off the glove of Roberts by Gentry.
Yeah, if that ball doesn't touch Roberts' glove, Parra gets it quicker and might have a shot at the plate. As it was, he had no shot at the plate. Gentry takes second. Rangers have one run in, and Miley's left a little bit upset. As well as he pitched, he's got a chance to lose this game.
Mike Napoli safe at home, safe and secure New York life.
And that was a great at bat by Napoli. No one was able to lay off of that hard breaking ball except Napoli. That's the first guy that Miley's walked in 93 hitters, which probably indicates no one else has been able to lay off it either.
There's a hard shot. This time Roberts comes up with the stick and a nice scoop at first by Goldschmidt.
Well, that's almost the same play. That time it stuck at his glove.
But the Rangers have Joe Nathan ready for the ninth and lead 1-0. Want to break up with the vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. Joe Nathan on for the 9th inning. He has finished 4 of the last 6 Ranger wins. Only 1 save opportunity since May 28th. And that was 8 days ago in Oakland, but he picked it up. 12 out of 13 on the year, and has retired 30 of the last 34 batters he's faced.
Well, tough save, too. 1-run game. You have to get the 4, 5, and 6 hitters out. Nelly Cruz will go into play right field. He pinch hit for Brandon Snyder. He'll stay in the game.
And first up for Nathan, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt, who was struck out, grounded into a double play, and grounded to third. 0 for 6 in the series so far for Goldschmidt. And goes after that first pitch.
Looking fastball all the way. Joe crossed him up with a slider.
Another swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Joe's got a lot of weapons he can use. He can go to a mid-90s fastball, go to a hard slider. He can throw you a slow curve, slower breaking ball, curveball.
The 0-2. Just able to cue that one foul. Joe Nathan locked in for weeks on end now. He's converted his last 10 save opportunities. Scored on at only 4 of his 25 appearances so far as a Ranger. Another one just tapped foul.
Well, he's definitely established that Goldschmidt will swing at the breaking ball. Thrown him 4 pitches, he swung at all 4 of them. I don't think any of them have been strikes. Fastball.
Ooh, called high. Wow. Jeff Kellogg didn't like it.
Well, it's borderline. Borderline pitch. Could have gone either way. I think Jeff has been liberal on the lower part of the strike zone. That close pitch went Goldschmidt's way.
Goldschmidt, fairly simple but aggressive approach. Power to all fields. 8 home runs, 26 runs batted in. He's hit in 17 of his last 18. 17-game streak ended last night. Nathan thought he might have the outside corner there at 95 miles an hour. He didn't, and it's 2-2.
He's thrown him a couple of fastballs, so he's got him set up to swing at that breaking ball. Goldschmidt's just been able to get a piece of several of them.
Not that one.
Oh, he blew that by him. Fastball. Nothing fancy there. A little bit late after all the breaking balls.
Rushing that one up there at 95 miles per hour. So 1 gone. Here is Jason Kubel, who has popped to short, flied to right, and struck out. First pitch, breaking ball, strike 1.
That's the slower breaking ball, his curveball.
Just outside Dodger Stadium. Dodgers got a run in the first. Angels have a Alberto Callaspo home run in the second. 1-1 game now, bottom of the second. strike at 95 at the knees. And Nathan now getting the support from the sellout of 45,866. Foul well down the left field line and out of play. The Rangers face the A's Saturday, June 30th. It's Gloop's Darvish T-shirt night for kids. First 10,000 13 and under get a red T-shirt featuring Texas in Japanese characters on the front and Darvish 11 on the back. Select your seats for the division battle before they're gone at TexasRangers.com. Had a notion, but holds up and it's 2-2. Kubel, the reigning co-National League Player of the Week. Waiting for the 2-2 pitch. Manages to fight that one off as well. Very muggy night, but it is cooled off from 86 degrees for our first pitch. 75 degrees as we approach the last pitch. Rain delay has left a lot of humidity around the ballpark. Just did get that one off the very edge of the bat. Foul it off again.
Two long at bats for Goldschmidt and now Kubel. They've spoiled some tough pitches. That sinker was tailing away. Kubel just cued it right off the end of the bat.
Andrus and Torrealba both in that conference on the mound, a brief one. 2-2 to Kubel. Chris Young on deck. You'll be waiting for the 8th pitch of this at bat. Called strike 3 at the knees. Out number 2.
Two good battles. Nathan prevails in both of them with fastballs. One swinging, one taking. Torrealba set up away and caught the pitch for strike 3.
Same result on a pair of 8 pitch at bats by Goldschmidt, by Kubel there. Last Diamondbacks hope now. Chris Young was fly to left, grounded to third and single.
Strong game, no doubt about it, for Wade Miley. First time we've seen him, but he was very impressive tonight.
Strike, the top of the zone, 1-1. Rangers with a chance at their 3rd shutout in 5 games. Friday and Sunday at San Francisco.
Well, last night felt like a shutout.
This out to center field, caught by Craig Gentry, and the Rangers take a 1-0 win. On a 1-2-3 bottom of the top of the 9th performance by Joe Nathan with 2 strikeouts. And he racks up his 13th save and 14 opportunities.
It was a fun game to watch. Excellent pitching in the game. Both pitchers were at the top of their game. Matt Harrison and Wade Miley both deserved to get a win, but instead the win goes to Mike Adams, who came in, got 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Joe Nathan gets his 13th save. Big hit by Craig Gentry. Great walk